In the peaceful village of Ekeukwu lived three inseparable maidens, Nkolika, Munachimso, and Oluebube. They were born in the same year, grew up in the same compound, and shared the same dreams. From fetching water at dawn to attending school in the next village, they moved like sisters, tied together by an invisible rope. People called them Otu Obi. But among them, Oluebube shined like morning sun on a river. Her beauty was the type that drew attention without her trying. Her smile often softened the hardest hearts, and even elders paused to admire her presence. While Nkolika was tough and outspoken, and Munachi was smart and gentle, Oluebube had a glow everyone talked about. Yet, beneath the laughter she shared, jealousy quietly grew in the hearts of Nkolika and Munachimso. They smiled with her, walked with her, laughed with her, but inside, they feared that her beauty would overshadow them forever. At the market, villagers often praised Oluebube first. At the stream, children ran to help her carry her pot and say, "Auntie, you look so beautiful." Even at school, teachers noticed her grace before asking about her studies. Nkolika and Munachimso began to feel invisible beside her. They tried to hide their feelings, forcing themselves to smile each time Oluebube was praised. But at night, when they returned home, they complained to each other about no one ever saw them. It's only Oluebube people always praise. I don't even know what she have that we don't have. We are beautiful like her. I don't know what is so special about her. Abeg, I don't tire for this kind matter. This is what they always say to each other. The jealousy that once looked small now began to take shape. Still, Oluebube remained innocent and loving. She trusted her friends with all her heart, unaware of the silent storm growing behind her back. One bright morning, the entire village gathered at the palace square. Drums echoed across Ekeukwu as the town crier announced the arrival of Chief Obinwa Ugwu, the richest man in the land. He returned from the city with wealth, wisdom, and a desire to help the village girls. He announced that he wanted to sponsor the most intelligent maiden to study abroad, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The chosen maiden would receive scholarship, new clothes, and live a life many only dreamed of. Excitement filled the air. Mothers pushed their daughters forward. Fathers prayed silently, and the three friends exchanged hopeful glances. But deep inside, Nkolika and Munachimso knew that if Oluebube went with them, her beauty alone might make her win. That evening, jealousy finally overflowed. Nkolika and Munachimso met behind the abandoned cassava barn and whispered a plan. A plan born from envy and fear. They believed the only way to shine was to remove Oluebube from the road. They plotted to lure her to the forgotten hut, a place long abandoned at the edge of the forest. They would lock her inside just long enough for the testing to begin. With her, they believed the competition would be between only the two of them. Munachimso felt a little guilty, but Nkolika encouraged her, saying, "If we don't act now, she will take everything. We will remain shadows forever." And so, jealousy sealed their hearts. The next morning, Nkolika went to Oluebube with false excitement. "Come, someone said they found something precious for you near the old hut," she lied. Oluebube trusted her, smiling as she followed them through the narrow forest path. The forgotten hut stood silent, covered in cobwebs. The air was cold around it, and a strange smell drifted from inside. But before Oluebube could question anything, Munachimso gently pushed her in while Nkolika slammed the door shut. Oluebube screamed, begged, and cried, pounding on the wooden door as her friends ran away. Her voice echoed through the empty forest, but no one heard. Back in the palace, maidens stood in a long line, waiting for Chief Obinwa to question them. Nkolika and Munachimso joined the line, pretending to be calm, while fear and guilt battled inside them. Chief Obinwa walked among the maidens, asking questions about history, culture, mathematics, and dreams for the future. Many girls trembled under his piercing gaze, but Nkolika answered confidently, and Munachi impressed the elders with her intelligence. Yet, deep in their hearts, they knew the competition felt empty without Oluebube standing beside them. Meanwhile, in the forgotten hut, Oluebube lost strength from shouting. She sank to the dusty floor, tears soaking her clothes. She could not understand why her friends would do this to her. The betrayal pierced deeper than any knife. As evening approached, strange things began to happen. A soft humming filled the hut, and the walls seemed to glow faintly. Oluebube looked around in fear. Suddenly, a gentle old woman appeared in the corner, her skin glowing like burning coal. The spirit introduced herself as Nneka the keeper, a guardian of truth. She revealed that the hut was not forgotten. It was a sacred place that exposed wicked hearts. Nneka the keeper sat beside Oluebube and wiped her tears with supernatural hands. She explained that her friends' jealousy had guided them to commit a grave sin. "But the gods have seen your innocence," she said softly. The spirit then touched Oluebube's forehead, and suddenly the girl saw visions. Nkolika and Munachimso laughing behind her, planning her downfall, pushing her into the hut. Every detail became clear. Instead of anger, Oluebube felt heartbreak. "Why would they do this?" she whispered. Nneka smiled. "Because light always attracts shadows, but light also reveals truth." The spirit rose and stretched her hands. A warm light filled the room, wrapping Oluebube like a blanket. "You were chosen for a greater destiny," she said. "The richest man may pick a maiden today, but your own blessing does not need a competition." With a snap of her fingers, the hut door unlocked on its own. The sun outside had turned golden, as if waiting for her. "Go," the spirit said. "Let truth walk with you." Oluebube stepped out, no longer broken, but stronger, glowing, and guided by unseen forces. Back at the palace, Chief Obinwa suddenly paused, doing questioning. He looked around and asked, "Where is the girl named Oluebube? I was told she is brilliant and kind." The villagers murmured. No one had seen her since morning. Her mother ran forward, crying and begging the elders to search for her. Fear spread across the square like wildfire. For the first time, Nkolika and Munachimso felt true dread. Their secret was no longer safe. Just as the search parties were being prepared, a soft breeze swept through the square. The villagers turned and saw Oluebube walking toward them calmly, her clothes dusty, but her face shining strangely bright. Women screamed in shock. Mothers rushed to her. Chief Obinwa stared at her as if she carried a mystery on her skin. She bowed respectfully and elders, but she did not mention her friends' names. The villagers demanded to know who locked her away, but Oluebube simply said, "Let the truth speak for itself." The moment she spoke, Nkolika and Munachimso began shivering uncontrollably. A heavy wind cycled them, and their knees gave way. The elders gasped as the girls cried out, confessing everything. They begged for forgiveness, but the villagers were disappointed. Betrayal was the worst crime among friends. Their parents hung their heads in shame, unable to defend them. Chief Obinwa, however, raised his staff and quietened the crowd. "Every heart carries shadows," he said, "but not every heart chooses cruelty." Chief Obinwa asked all three girls to stand before him. Instead of choosing based on intelligence alone, he tested their hearts. Nkolika and Munachimso trembled as he questioned them about loyalty, truth, and inner strength. When it was Oluebube's turn, her answers were simple but powerful. She forgave her friends, even though they had wounded her deeply. She spoke about unity, kindness, and using education to help her village. The villagers clapped. Even the elders nodded, deeply moved. Chief Obinwa lifted his staff high. "I have made my decision," he announced. "The maiden who will travel abroad for studies is Oluebube." The crowd erupted with joy. Drums sounded. Women ululated. Her mother fell to her knees in tears of gratitude. Nkolika and Munachimso wept, but this time they cried from regret, not jealousy. Oluebube hugged them both and whispered, "Let this be a lesson. Friendship is worth more than any opportunity." Oluebube traveled abroad weeks later, sponsored fully by Chief Obinwa. But she did not forget her friends. She wrote them letters, encouraged them to pursue their dreams, and promised to return and build something meaningful for the village. Nkolika and Munachimso changed their ways. They became hardworking and humble, learning from their mistakes. Their friendship with Oluebube, though shaking, slowly healed. And so, the story of the three shadows of Ekeukwu became a legend, teaching generations that jealousy destroys, but kindness lifts destinies higher than anyone can imagine.